Hello, everybody. How's it going? Before we hop right in, I would like to encourage you to share this with a trader friend. Get the same faces in here. I would love to see some new people and get these videos starting to spread. If you find value, feel free to share it on Twitter or something like that, and I can retweet it and get some more eyes on the videos. But without further ado, fairly long watch list. Only a couple patterns I have on watching tomorrow, but a ton of names, and they're all setting up here in the near term. So I'm flat on everything. A bunch of my swings, Caramel and Arlo, I got stopped out on those ones. Was swinging those and closed below its prior day's lows. Arlo broke below its prior day's lows, so stopped out on those ones. And then RGC made those losses back. With this setup here, got stopped out once. Was turning into a fairly ugly day this morning, stopping out on those two swings with full-size losses, and then RGC with a full-size loss. I was down 3R fairly quickly right off the open. Was shorting in pre-market as a starter using prior day's highs. Was not anticipating it excuse me, pushing through prior day's highs. Was thinking it would set a lower high to prior day's highs, and then I could add to it with a new risk level. But it swiped up and went right through, so I covered, took off, and then we got the hard crack. So I put on some chase size. Once we got the confirmed lower high, I added, and I believe I was sized versus high day risk, but was going to take it off over 29s. So was a bit undersized on this pullback, but I think that was probably due to the decent size red off the open. Mosquito. Got this pull. Big bounce, bit bigger than I expected, but as long as it didn't firm up over VWAP, was fairly comfortable. We got the pullback and higher low, so I sized down, and then we got this little setup here off of these lower highs and these higher lows, and that was my reason for the rescale around the core. Come on, let me delete this thing. There we go. So rescale it around the core, and was planning on if a bar closed above that lower high trend line, so if it broke like 24s ish, I would have taken that off. But we got the pullback through low a day, started to make a new low a day, but didn't continue to fail lower. So I covered completely. As I had said yesterday, I feel like this is a decent swing trade. But in the unlikely event that I get something like this in pre-market, I don't want to be losing sleep over a trade like that. So I think I just look for similar action to this. Look for some sort of swipe ups. Whoa. Swipe ups off the open, failed follow through, and look to short versus high a day and continue to ride that trend down, similar to MLGO and Mullen and all those other short swing trade dilutive names. So those are the trades from today. And then going into watches for tomorrow, VOR starting to speed up nicely. Has not had a great history of third days. Goes on 1, day 2, pullback, 1, 2, pullback, and then now we're going 1, 2. So if I get a big enough gap up on this, would be interested in a failed follow through setup. If we don't gap up, it's not really extended enough from $2, but if I can get a gap over prior day's highs and then start to fail under opening range lows, then I think the history of this name would start to show itself and could possibly sit back. So keep that one on watch. Toast, this one here, bigger picture, larger cap name for this 45 half breakout is definitely of interest to me. It is consolidating very nicely. We had this little undercut and rally, higher low, and now is starting to build. So if I can get a break through that level tomorrow, I will join that trend. BMNR, pretty much what I wanted to avoid. Sideways choppy day. I can't long this thing up here, and it was gapping down way too much too short. SONN gapped up too much above this breakout level here in the 440s. And as you can see, as I've talked about in the past, stocks that are gapping up through their breakout levels only have about a 20 to 30% win rate. So listed longs and their breakouts are pretty difficult as it is. So why try to fight names that the odds are stacked against you? And that's breakouts that are gapping over their breakout level. They just fail more times than not, and the risk reward's not there. They have a negative EV, so worth avoiding that one. MBIO, interested in pops on this one into prior day's resistance. Big spike here, and then retrace its entire move, round trip, but still up 166%. Odds favor a gap down tomorrow. So any pops off the open, look to short versus prior day's resistance levels, and should round trip. Once this gave way under this 460s, there was absolutely nobody home. It just got smoked. But I think there's still plenty of room here down towards twos. One's a bit longer term, but probably twos tomorrow. So I'll be looking for pops for a quiet idea as everyone takes it off radar. And then a bunch of multi-day runners here looking for first red days. Wolf, bankruptcy name. I saw this breakout down here, and there's just a bit too much risk on my end. Swinging this thing when they could they filed for Chapter 11 and they could be delisted to OTC whenever they see fit and announce it. So I think there's just a bit too much risk to the long side, but I'd really look for a gap up each day. The last 2 days sets its low a day off the open and then trends the rest of the day. Nice hard crack there into close. We'll see if prior day's VWAP starts to roll over. And would use the opening bar as a trigger level for me versus highs. VIOT, big old multi-day runner here. Recent lows in the 120s, up near $3. Nice blow off, big candle. Didn't trade a ton of volume. Most of the volume came in there today, volume and range. But I will keep it on watch. It had some Ethereum treasury news, I believe it was. Look, I believe this was the name. I believe it was. Am I thinking of a different one? Give me a minute. Nope, different name. It was BTBT. It was the multi-day runner. Bit Digital. This one here had Ethereum treasury news right over here that actually gapped it down, but has been steady highs. We're coming into that 100% move with some nice range expansion on the gap with volume coming in. So I will keep this on watch for first red day. But VIOT, I'm not seeing any news on this one actually. Just a China name. 1, 2, 3 days. Look for failed fall through tomorrow. See if we get it. CGTX, same kind of boat. This one here's got some overhead up in the 90s. Right here. So the higher I can get, closer I can get to those looking left levels up in the 90s, more I would like. So if I can get a gap up and parabolic 90 through 1, something like that, I would definitely like to react to that parabolic. Gapping up so far here in after hours, see if we can sustain. Not really in love with it for a short if we're opening right around here tomorrow, but the bigger the gap, bigger it runs tomorrow, the more likely I'd be to take that trade. Jeff, Tanner's a new booty. Gola, what's going on? Yeah, Jeff's always number one in these things. Had a good long on VOR breakouts, he'll do soon. Missed Sun. What made you more confident on Sun? Yesterday's watch, then like Elwes. Elwes didn't have a ton of range on day one. Like the bars are just sideways. They're not really getting anywhere. It's typically like an intradaily look. So market open right here, and then it just went sideways all day. Or if you look at SONN, market open and a trend all day. So just the way that intraday price action is, that's what makes me look for breakouts. There's this theory that like the front leg and then the consolidation and the second leg matches that first leg. I never really look for it, but it typically works for better breakouts when they have bigger moves on the front side. Whether that's just more shorts because it's up more and then you get a better short squeeze, maybe. Yeah, it's the range on breakouts is you have to be comfortable with that lower win rate. Like I know Gertani's really good at it, where he's fine with like a 40 or 50% win rate because when the ones that work continue to work, he's super good at staying patient and holding for like those 100% moves. Where I am like I'm fine with like that 1 day overnight or something like that, but I'm typically a bit quicker on the trigger to start locking in, which kind of skews the expected value because my risk reward is now lower. I'd probably take smaller and less frequent losses. I'd have to look at my stat sheet, but I think my breakouts is in like the 64-65%. So my win rate is a bit higher, but my risk reward is definitely far lower. Like I'm not holding for those multi 100% moves. Thinking about intraday entry, long idea, failed follow through. When it goes up to retest that broken support and it recovers. That was my idea for VOR at 940. Figured I'd share. Wasn't perfect, but daily would have to be in play, like a Blake breakout or backside bounce already in play. Yeah, logically it makes sense. I've never really tried it. I can't recall of like like did MBIO do it at all today? Like it would have been like if it failed here and then reclaimed, then you can buy that reclaim versus those lows. I don't know of any names that did it today. Like right here. So like this could be one for tomorrow. Is really close to close, but like if Wolf gaps up, that could be an entry trigger for what you're talking about. So he broke under this like 220s and then reclaimed it. So now maybe it's back in trend. Yeah, nothing I've really tracked. I don't have a ton of opinion on it, but I like the idea. What do I use to scan for multi-day movers? Still Finviz. I've done a few screen shares with my Finviz scans in the past. It's probably titled like scanning or something if you go back on some of my other videos. But it's just big percent gainers, and I've got like change over the month, change over the week, and change over the day, and then with certain volume requirements. So if something's up, 20% on the month, 30% on the week, and maybe 50% on the day, then I'm going to start getting those runners that are percent gainers on multiple time frames. Well, there you go. Bass Hunter plays it. The crack and reclaim. The little, like you could call that like on toast, where like I was shorting this under 41 for the failed fall through setup, and then once it failed and reclaimed, maybe you buy it. I know Ariel, he's over in IU. He trades that, calls it an undercut and rally, where it breaks support but reclaims, and it's just like trapped a whole new set of shorts. Yeah, VOR opened right around the breakout level, just under it. It was above it all of pre-market, right until the open. So I had taken it off radar for that breakout, just because I saw it was above it. And then right around here, like 20 minutes before open, it pulled below it. So that was my bad, but I ended up missing it. Struggled with the custom scans. No worries. Yeah, I'm just scanning for percent gainers, and if you use multiple time frames, I've got this this website I've used. It's on barchart.com, and I've got it set for 5-day percent gainers. I can post it here in the chat. I check this sometimes. Yeah, you should be able to click that link. I scan that sometimes, and that'll give you, percent gainers over 5 days. And usually look at ones trading that 5-day average volume. So like BTBT's at the top of that list. It's up 70% in the last 5 days. Flux, too low volume, PRME is on there. So it's starting to run. But it's got a few things on there. Yeah, I don't use that one like exclusively. I still use my Finviz ones, where I just set percent gainers over the week, percent gainers over the month. But I also use that one. Sometimes it picks up things that I miss. Would you call Kerr a crack and reclaim? Like a little undercut and rally? Let's see. Probably like right here. There's that failed fall through level there under the 140s. Reclaims it. I know Nate calls this move like a sub VWAP trap. Ariel calls it an undercut and rally. Bass Hunter calls it a crack and reclaim. So seems like there's a bunch of names for it, and everyone's kind of trading the same thing. But looks like it right there. Yeah, so let me see here. Toast is the only long watch I have going into tomorrow. And then I will be looking at these multi-day runners, CGTX, BTBT, Viot, Wolf as multi-day runner over extension first red days, and then MBIO for a shove. Failed fall through, higher the better. Quiet idea as people... Ideally, there's a bunch of gappers tomorrow, and then everyone just forgets about this one. I don't know why Viot's up. Consumer cyclical, appliances, China, not insider held. There's like zero dilution. What the hell is with this thing? Last piece of news was in May. Do you prefer open high or push into a level on MBIO? I almost always prefer an exhaustion gap when looking to short. If this, because I think of it from like a psychological standpoint. So everybody that was long MBIO that didn't buy the open, let's see, it closed below its open. So anyone who was long MBIO today is underwater. So most people are not day traders and at their desk all day. And about 70% of traders are long and about 30% are short. So if you bought MBIO at the open, it ran up, you were up a ton, and now you're down. Now, because you were up so much, you're looking to get out for a small profit or as close to break even as you can. So if we gap down and then get a big ramp back up into those levels, I don't think there's as many people that are going to be here half an hour into the open selling into that. But I do think that a vast majority of people that are long, if this is opening at $4 tomorrow, I think you get that sell on open and it's like, boom, see you later. So I almost always prefer an exhaustion gap when looking at short. So if I can get a gap up into like 380 to 420 and then short an opening range breakdown, risk versus highs, set a stop, see you later. Sam's going to be hunting for bass tomorrow. Nice. Bass Hunter does not like to short weakness or buy strength. There's lots of people who have made a living off of it. As long as you buy strength and then sell strengther. Like I know Grattani, he's made tens of millions, and when there's a breakout, he buys the breakout trigger as it's running through it, straight into strength. Alrighty, y'all. I think I am going to wrap it up there. Not a ton else to touch on. That's my watch list for tomorrow. So I will wrap it up there. And I will catch you guys in the next watch list. Trade them well, everybody. Have a great evening. And I'll see you later.